Hello, I'm your host, Jonathan Miller, and today I'm joined by Steve Lydeamore, CEO of Immuron Limited, ticker symbol IMRN on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. They are a biopharmaceutical company. Steve, can you elaborate a little bit more on that for us?
Yeah, thank you for having me today.
Absolutely.
Yes, Immuron Limited is an Australian biopharmaceutical company, but we're somewhat unique in that we have a consumer product on the market, Travelan, for travelers' diarrhea. And we're using that same technology that we used to develop that particular product to develop new products for infectious diseases. And it's interesting in that we take advantage of the unique characteristics of a cow. So in mammals, typically immunity passes from mother to child through the placental wall. But in a cow, it's too thick to do that, so they pass immunity through colostrum. So our product's a colostrum-based product. We develop animal-specific vaccines for targeted pathogens. The cow expresses polyclonal antibodies with antigens specific to targeted pathogenic bacteria, and that becomes our drug product in the colostrum. So it's quite unique in that respect.
Well, that's very interesting. And I understand you're in some different phases of research and development right now. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, we have a number of clinical programs underway. So Travelan, IND approved by the FDA late last year. Got approval to go ahead with the clinical trial. We're in the recruiting phase. Hope to start first dosing in July. And another program of ours, the Camp BTEC program, partnered with the US Department of Defense, the Naval Medical Research Center. Recently got off clinical hold, which is great for us, and we're planning on starting two phase 2 trials, one in Campylobacter and another in enterotoxigenic E. coli in the near term.
Sounds like some tremendous accomplishments so far. We know how difficult it is to get FDA approval and other clinical approvals during these trials. How did you get involved in the company? What's your background, and how did all this play out for you?
I've been with the company almost 1 year to the day. So prior to joining Immuron, I was CEO of an Australian stock exchange listed company called Anatara, a gut health company, which I was pleased to see also got positive interim results in their trial. So it's always good when you leave a place to see them do well, so they're doing well. That was a gut health focused company. I was headhunted, I guess, to join Immuron. Great opportunity, similar to Anatara in the gut health space and doing research, but with a product on the market, I could use my years of experience in commercialising products, which was a lot of fun for me.
Oh, fantastic. Now, gut health has been a topic of discussion, especially over the last few years with COVID and understanding the biome. What would you say are some of your key performance indicators or key growth factors?
Sorry, can you repeat that question for me again?
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say are some of the company's competitive advantages or key performance indicators?
Yeah, so the technology I just described for you, the key to it is it's not an antibiotic. So you've probably heard of microbiome being affected by antibiotics and antibiotic resistance. So our product is not an antibiotic. There is no antibiotic resistance, but it can stop those pathogenic bacteria from attaching. So our product's not absorbed by the body. It is locally acting. Doesn't have any of those resistance factors. Could produce the same outcome.
Excellent. And are there any sort of regulatory impacts that the company may face?
Not so much regulatory impacts, but regulatory processes that we do need to go through. So phase 2 studies, obviously need to pass them, but before we can get approval as a drug, we would need to go through phase 3 studies as well.
Excellent. And is there anything else you'd like to share with investors?
Look, I mentioned right at the start that unusual for a small biotech, we actually have a commercial product on the market. So we went through a bit of a downturn during the pandemic, as you would imagine with a traveller's diarrhea product. People aren't travelling.
Exactly.
So people weren't buying the product. And also the trial. So you can't recruit people for a travel trial when people aren't travelling. So the great news is that people are travelling again. And if you look at the statistics, you can see that depending on which country, somewhere between 60 and 80% back to normal. So things are going really well. Sales are growing rapidly. We'll probably end up somewhere in the 100 to 200+% on last year sales this year, with good growth expectations for next year as well.
Wow. And where can consumers find the products?
In Australia, it's available everywhere in your local pharmacy. In the US at the moment, we sell through Passport Health, US's largest travel health clinic. We're working towards getting it into retail pharmacies, probably starting in Florida. So watch this space,
Key
and
travel
hopefully,
destination.
hopefully going to launch on our own Amazon.com shopfront in the next few months.
So it sounds like expansions in the horizon in the next few years. Can you speak to anything else that the company is working on or focusing on the next few years?
Expansion is very much about what we're looking. So on the consumer product side, we're looking at other products to bring into the fold. You know, when you have infrastructure for selling, we're selling ourselves in US, Canada, and Australia. We'd like to sell more products, and we're also looking at making our product available through distributors in Asian and European markets.
Excellent. And as far as capital allocation goes, it sounds like you're heavily invested in the R&D, into these clinical trials. Can you speak a little bit more about that?
We're in a good position capital-wise, so we have plenty of cash to see us through for the next couple of years. We're not out with the need to raise money, which is a good
always a
thing,
good thing.
given the current environment.
Right.
But obviously we look after our cash well and spend it appropriately on both expanding the commercial side of the business and progressing with our clinical trials. Fortunately, most of our clinical trials are funded through grants from the US Department of Defense. The 3 phase 2 studies I just mentioned are all US military funded.
Thank you so much. Again, the company is Immuron. Steve, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you.